Then we go to the Marslander, which is the follow-up of the Apollo 13, the service management game, the ITIL version 4 game. Of course, this is tells you a little bit about the basic of ITIL version 4, about value chain. People that attend these courses are people from support, service desk, second line support, maybe some vendors, service managers, process managers, and you learn key aspects of ITIL 4. But what is, so you're part of Space Y. Yeah? Space Y is a company that sells data from information from outer space. So there's a rocket launch. We go 2 orbits around Mars. We put the Marslander on Mars and get some nice pictures of the surface of Mars. And in the meanwhile, there are some great opportunities for new features and projects, instant secure, customer get feedback, etc. So what is my interesting for me would be, what would be the main difference with Apollo 13, which is an ITIL 3 game, right?
Yeah, well, you can call it ITIL 3, but the fact is that gaming work started 20 years ago with Apollo 13, which was at that moment a nice instrument to teach people how to apply ITIL 1, 2, and 3 into this challenging context. And ITIL at that moment was all about processes, definitions, boxes and arrows, check your database first before you escalate, and so on. Which is great, which is the basic and fundamental knowledge you need to have. But then we saw that ITIL 4 came into the market. And our experience was, based on some surveys, that people who participated in ITIL 4 training and they just were new into the market, they came home and said, yeah, I still don't understand ITIL 4. And I think they're right. And that's why we thought, but it's not a good sign that you spend 2 days in a classroom with very important information and knowledge, and you leave the training with, okay, I got the certificate, but what's next? So this simulation will put the students into a service organization, and from the beginning of the game, we challenge them to apply the principles of ITIL 4.
Which is based on value.
Value thinking, think in terms of 4 dimensions. So what is a service? Not just software and hardware. Also the guiding principles. What does it mean? Start where you are. What does it mean? Visualization and transparency. So instead of teaching them, we say, okay, imagine you know the ITIL 4 theory. Use it to make Space Y a more successful company. Mm-hmm. And suddenly people start to understand, oh, wait a minute, we are already working in processes. But now I understand how to create more value out of this. For example, yesterday I did a Marslander simulation for a customer, and somebody started a discussion. He said, oh, it's a nice game, but we need a problem manager. And I thought to myself, well, problem manager is outdated, because in a modern way of working, we don't need a problem manager. We need problem management activities in our team.
We need problems to get solved.
Exactly. So what they learned yesterday was, if you visualize the problems that you identify on your board and you link incidents that happen to that problem record, suddenly you see so many incidents that it becomes time to fix the problem instead of each single incident.
What we see in the game also, there is a product owner. So the product owner actually takes decisions. So we see a hybrid situation of lean, agile, and DevOps in the game.
Yeah, and that means that as a little challenge, we put a very detailed SLA in this simulation. And halfway the day, people are starting a discussion. Do we still need an SLA in which we document how many tickets should be solved and how many tickets are allowed to be open at the end of the round? Because they realize that this product owner is the one who owns digital services and makes a continuous decision between how are we going to spend our time solving issues or minimizing risk or innovate. So you can say the comparison between Apollo and this game, Apollo is about team dynamic, create teams that work together, like first line, second line, third line, customer focused. Marslander is about how to become a more, let's say, modern IT service organization.
Okay, thank you.